Hello everyone, my name is Delmy Haney and this is my Policy and Advocacy Assignment Part 5. The policy I will be discussing is the inclusion of children with disabilities in early childhood programs. The intentions of this policy statement is to set a vision and provide recommendations to states, local educational agencies, schools, and public and private early childhood programs from the U.S. Department of Education and the Health and Human Services for increasing the inclusion of infants, toddlers, and preschool children with disabilities in high-quality early childhood programs. According to the Department of Education, all young children with disabilities have the right to access inclusive, high-quality early childhood programs in which they receive individualized support in meeting high expectations. This policy aims to provide children with disability supports and make sure they feel included. In order for all children to have access to high-quality early childhood programs, strong government leadership, a shared responsibility and commitment within communities, and a strong partnership between schools, communities, and government are required to make this happen. The reason I chose this policy is that it ensures that children with disabilities do not experience exclusions from attending early childhood education. In my opinion, people do not understand the importance of including children with disabilities in early childhood programs. It should not be difficult for children with disabilities to have access to early childhood programs. In addition to having family members with disabilities, I would never want a child to be excluded from their peers because of their disability. With this policy, we are encouraging inclusion and ensuring that all children have access to opportunities. The history of this policy dates back to the Individuals with Disability Education Act of 1975. In the beginning, only children ages 3 to 5 and adolescents with disabilities were able to receive special education services under the Individual with Disability Education Act, or IDEA. A number of modifications were made to this policy in order to eventually include services for preschoolers and babies with disabilities. Throughout history, the inclusion of individuals with disabilities in early childhood development programs has evolved to recognize the importance of providing children with an environment that promotes their education and development. The United States Division of Education released a program declaration in 2015 regarding the inclusion of children with disabilities. This highlighted the need for high-quality inclusion education that gives children with disabilities access to similar educational prospects as their peers without disabilities. Making sure to include children with disabilities in my classroom is my way of advancing this policy. Actions need to be taken to see results. By doing this, maybe my actions will influence other educators to do the same. To advocate for the inclusion of children with disabilities in early childhood program, I must raise public awareness with diverse groups. Research has shown that including children with disabilities in early childhood plans has significant advantages both for children with disabilities and their peers. For example, participating in inclusion plans allows children with disabilities to make better progress as they grow and learn. In addition, their classmates develop significant communication skills and demonstrate their abilities through interactions with children with disabilities. With this in mind, in order to advocate for this policy, I think a training program for early childhood educators and proprietors might help create inclusive environments for children with disabilities. It may encourage educators to incorporate inclusion in their classrooms if they understand the full significance of why including children with disabilities is so important. Another way to advocate for this policy is to educate parents about their rights under the IDEA and ADA Acts. This is so they can ensure their children are not excluded at school. So I designed an informational pamphlet which invites people to come watch my presentation on the importance of including children with disabilities. Here is the pamphlet that I created for educators or even parents to give them a quick overview of my policy and to invite them to my presentation. This pamphlet includes the policy and what it's about, ways for educators to include children with disabilities in their classroom, the benefits of including children with disabilities, and a quick insight on why they should attend my presentation. I also provided my contact information just in case anyone has any questions about the inclusion of children with disabilities or my presentation event. Here is a list of references I use for my presentation, and thank you to whoever watches my presentation.